At the end of the infamous play, Hamilton, Eliza asked some very provocative questions. Who lives? Who dies? Who tells your story? When you're gone, who remembers your name? Such are the questions we seek to answer in this podcast. What does it mean to tell the true story and experiences of the people who built the music industry in Trinidad and Tobago? Who are our musical legends, and how do we know them? After almost a decade of hearing inaccurate versions of our Trinbagonian history being told by other people, we came to realize that who we are matters, but where we come from also matters. People appear to be writing their own history of the entertainment industry in Trinidad and Tobago. At Beavers, we seek to demystify the musical mythos of the entertainment industry in Trinidad and Tobago. I, Carl Henderson, am known in the entertainment industry as Beaver. I recently celebrated 50 years in the music business, and I realized that, as an industry, we have a problem. Our stories are disappearing. The COVID-19 pandemic elevated people's dependency on social media as a global source of information. Additionally, the last few years have shown how easily stories of our local musical legends are becoming diluted in our histories. We cannot stand by and watch, listen, and wait for the erasure of our musical legacy right here in Trinidad and Tobago. It is imperative that we correct the untruths, the ignorance, and the disappearing stories in the annals of our history. We must become the original source of our ancestry, archives, and achievements. We designed this podcast to educate our citizens about the people and pathways that pave the routes to many successful careers. We also purposely want to celebrate those who have made significant contributions but never got the acknowledgement. We present this podcast as history, as labor and love for our incredible Trinidad and Tobago musical talent. We hope that through the work presented here, you may become enlightened, learn something new, and even challenge your own ideas about who the players are in this local music industry. I invite you to join us, Beaver and Jaron, each week as we navigate the historical musical landscape of our people right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to At Beavers. Over the years, I've looked at it that I have a gift, but could also be a curse, a two-edged sword. I see the industry and what I do 5, 10, 15, 20 years ahead of its time.
We predicted, where we are now, we predicted this about 12 years ago.
So after the Road March, did King Austin's Progress, which became the calypso of the century. I worked with Shorty, Om Shanti album. My path was set for education and I was doing pre-med. I was going to do medicine. First paid job in studio in my life. They threw me in the deep end and told me, you are now a producer. My first production was a first-time artist called Denise Blower.
I want to be in the gym and say, oh yeah, you're the kid who's hang around. The high. There's a broom, there's a mop, there's a tea, there's a coffee.
Wine and go down there. Yours truly, GBM Neutron.
And it's been shown now, if something is not documented, it never happened.
And I thought, well, Angela would have been my back. But next thing you know, I wasn't even singing in a 10. I was singing in a 11.
What are you doing, people? It's your boy Young Brother right now. I'm at Beavers Podcast. Who does that? You!
This is a story that has to be told. Some people just don't know. Some people guess. But I've reached a point in my life where the actual experience, people are telling me back a whole different story. You need to hear this story. The last 5 standing of us from that era told the story, the truth, unabated truth, but you need to hear this. Not secondhand, not third hand, but from the originators. The truth. Only the truth, nothing but the truth. You need to see this. The true story of the origin of soca. Good day, everybody. I'm Carl Beaver Henderson, and totally happy to be around some of my best friends in life. Most of who are older than me, some by 6 months, and others. But this is a free-all, hands-off discussion on our music industry from the 60s come back and who we are. The reason for this is, for the last couple of years, I've been noticing that our collective story has been rewritten, started to be rewritten. We are still here, we are still alive, but we are hearing our story rewritten by other people. So basically, we are here to get our story straight firsthand and not any third person telling our stories. And the crux of today's discussion is basically the mystery question: who invented soca?
So, but I want to get to the crux of the matter, which is, I mean, this soca music, I want to zoom in on that because that should have a lot of discussion as well. Now, I was in a band called, it was Comets, and then we changed to Kalian. We were trying to get the music to, the whole contention was to try and get the music to cross over to the Americas.
American charts and marketing.
Right? So we had a formula. In the discussion with Tony Sylvester, the word soca was already in the air, because like Shorty was started to talk about this soca music, right? So we said, okay, what we want to do is, the soca music, to our mind then, was a combination of calypso music and soul music.
Now, as musicians, like Michael said just now, musicians they just go in a studio and whatever come you're creating, using your creative self, right? And we didn't know the business of doing this and this and cooking. So whatever feel we get and we play and all that. Because I didn't used to strum and thing. I used to play lines and all that. So all these kind of elements in the music. And he built on it. And I always say soca was created because of multi-track recording too. Because when it was 2 mic in a studio, everybody jamming.
Yeah, there's a live band here.
Right. So when you go now, you're overdubbing percussion, tick, 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 tick. Everything have a pattern.
It has its own space.
Right. Everything have a space and a pattern and all that. So that production was going on. Right? So to me, it was created in that sense.
Right.
So when you were mixing and thing, Shorty, a discussion come up in the studio that how are we going to label, you go to a record store, like Tower Records.
Yeah. How are you going to catalog it?
How are we going to catalog this music?
This is on the same Endless Vibration album around that time. Okay.
So I remember Andrew Tanker was there. A guy used to work in case named Dupree.
Yeah.
Ellis Shovelin on.
Yeah. Dupree Sales.
Kerry Richards.
Wong Moon.
Yeah.
Wong
Moon.
Yeah.
And we went in Ellis' office. And how are we going to call this soca? Shorty come out and say, so it is solar calypso. Right? So he gave it that kind of name there.
Soul of calypso.
Solar calypso.
Soul of calypso.
Right? But in that time too, and I'm sure Michael will think of that, everybody was going to that studio and creating things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They had
that was-
Bradley do Sunday morning or some Sunday
Yeah.
and party on the block.
Yeah.
Michael was doing anything too. Everybody was going down. Even Nappy Miles was doing things, all kind of things.
I was the only outsider
Right.
because I was in Semp. That was why. I was the only outsider.
When you look at it, soca is really a collective of
And
musicians.
we already
that's what we
had,
get into
That-
the
that's-
process.
yeah.
we already
A
had
collective movement.
Yeah.
a change in our music that we don't talk about. You see when Shadow won the road match with bass
yeah.
man,
Yeah.
that change in music, because bass then used to play no melody.
Correct.
Imagine you play that bass, bam, 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 bam. Time you do that, right?
You change the whole
You
that's
change
really.
the whole aspect of the music.
Yeah.
And then he come and sing, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That was the change in the music. Adiko to do that. You know, so people were doing things all the time.
And although I'm saying we are the last standing architects, we need to give credit for those who are not here because
Yeah.
there was a lot more than us.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
are not
yeah, yeah,
claiming
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
I mean, like I say,
Michael
Shadow
Tobias.
for melody, Tobias, Agnes
Maggie.
Rose, Maggie,
Drummer.
Maggie.
oh gosh,
Even
Clive,
Aaron
Clive
Wise.
Bradley,
Aaron Wise.
Clive Bradley,
Yeah.
Ed Watson, because of health, who I would have loved to have him here.
Yeah.
Can't be here today. Eric Michaud. I mean, there's so many people.
So many people.
And, you know, we have to understand that, like when I first started, you can't say somebody invented classical music, somebody invented jazz, somebody invented funk, somebody invented rock and rolls. Who invented calypso?
It's a movement, man. Yeah.
Right. Welcome back to the reality of now. That was just a taste, a teaser of what is to come. That segment alone is in a multi-part podcast. It was so intense, so true. We had to stretch it out. But just don't miss it, trust me. Of all the podcasts that are coming up, this is the most intense and honest and truthful. This next segment is about connectivity, about generational connectivity, and something that even surprised me. I never knew the connection. But this segment is about a dear friend that I lost a couple of years ago, Ansel Perez Ford. And I found his two sons and the artist that he arranged the first album. Ansel and myself, we were like partners in musical crime. And when you understand the history of this man, you'll understand what he gave to this country and to this music. A powerful, powerful creative soul that has passed on to the next generations. And you will see the success of his kids.
Wine and go down there. Yours truly, GBM Neutron, here on the inside. A pleasure to be here. A pleasure to be here. A pleasure to be here.
You see what I mean? He's not a wannabe. He's not an upcoming. He's already walking the halls of stardom.
Yeah.
And all total respect to you, my brother.
Yo, same to you. Same to you.
Listen to me. Even before I knew you were Ansel's son, I mean, respect your music because I recently celebrated. I'm 50 years in the business.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. But the thing is, I don't look back and just say I've accomplished 50 years. I look back to see what's following me. And when I look back, you are always there. For some strange reason, your name just keeps popping up and popping up and popping up.
Yeah.
Right? And then recently I found out you were Ansel's son. Bro, you just became family. Right? And it's a pleasure and an honor to have you here with my friend, business partner, Jaron Woodruff. And we just take another sip here in celebration of Ansel's life.
Yes.
Zarina drink here, a non-alcoholic drink. And you're celebrating my brother's life, and watching his genetics alive in you now, and knowing of the successes that you have had, it explains it all now. Right?
I mean, that's such humbling words coming from you. You're very much somebody that I look up to as musical foundation. Whether it's just through your works or getting to connect with you like this. I think that's very, very humbling to hear those words coming from you, and I appreciate you. I'm glad I have the opportunity to celebrate my dad's life here with you. This is a huge honor for me. And again, it's just such a great pleasure to be here and, for this information to even get to this point where it's now going to be shared with audiences, that really makes me happy. So, Mr. Woodruff, big up yourself.
Big up yourself.
Big up to you, Henderson, Mr. Henderson. I had to say Mr. before the name now because it's a respect level here.
It is. Likewise.
You'll catch inexperienced music start to play out of time.
Absolutely.
Right. In other words, he used to just throw his kicks out in the middle of a rehearsal to see if you're that strong a musician. If you're not a strong musician, all of a sudden you find yourself playing out of time or playing something wrong. Right? And then you go back and dance in time and just kind of watch you on the eye and smile. In other words, I catch the bitch.
I catch you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put this way, Ansel was a prankster.
Yeah.
Full stop, he was a prankster.
Yeah.
A artist, I mean, to the utmost level, whatever in life, but he was a prankster. Right?
I think that's definitely something that I'm realizing now. You have to have some sort of joy. You had to have your authentic way of having fun doing what you're doing. And, coming across these stories now and just going through these rehearsal room stories and stuff is just confirmation for me that, there's a passion, there's joy, there's love that comes with doing this authentically. At the end of the day, yes, we have the industry, we have the politics, we have the entertainment, but it is an art. And I think that art is meant to reflect the person expressing it. It's meant to be a form of expression for, maybe their deepest desires or whatever it is. And he definitely had fun. He definitely had fun doing the music, making the music. And it's really a joy for me to get that confirmation because it just motivates me to continue on where I am. And not just where I am and what I'm doing, but how I'm doing it, how I'm experiencing it for me as well,
Talking about him, as we're talking about Ansel Ford now, I could see his face now in front of me.
Trust me.
Because I remember him so much. And I mean, we're talking about great people who are arrangers. We're talking about, let me start with Adi Koto. Let us talk about Ed Watson, the man who was part of the big soca thing with Rashoti, right? And then we talk about Dr. Leston Paul. But we cannot believe out Carl Beaver Henderson. From that four. Okay. Maybe Ibo too. And Sir Pelham. Yeah. These are the men, but I will have to call Ansel inside of there. Because of the things that he created, because he made me a star. But those big hits like Don't Try That. Honey, what kind of thing you're trying on me? When Ansel heard that, he put a bass line in there one time. Tum tum, pimpy tum tum, tum tum. I think he's the first man that started doing lyrical bass in music.
Shadow was working the time, but
Shadow was there at the time too. Yes.
Shadow, but it was two different styles.
Yeah, two different. I like that. I like that.
Shadow was putting melody in bass line, but Ansel was doing because he was a different kind of musician. He was using different parts of the music for his melody and bass. But those were the two who actually using that. And then Adi Koto, who was a bass player, he was so foundation in calypso using a jazz bass because Adi Koto played his upright bass. As a matter of fact, I think from what I remember in history, he gave his original upright bass to Angus Noons for Angus to learn bass. Yeah, that was that close. But come back to Ansel. Ansel is one of them. You see, you're called names that have accomplished so much. But unfortunately, Ansel is one of those that kind of slipped through the popular history of our music industry here. And that's why we're discussing that. Because there are several people who have contributed so much to the development of our music here. And because they were never stars in the front of the stage, or they were never pushy, selfish people, history tends to kind of push you in a corner or in a crack or something. But, my whole thing is give the guy his due, man.
That's why we are here now to talk about these guys. I mean, Ansel. Ansel.
Yeah. Definitely.
Not only look that song, Muchacha, that Christmas classic. Muchacha. He took that bass line and make the song the hit. Without that bass, if anybody has ever made that song, but the man was a genius boy.
You're right. He was a very serious musician. Very no joke thing, not no hobby. This was like
he lived for it,
you know. Yeah. So those are some vague memories that come to mind. I also remember like a lot of like people would come to the house to like do a demo or to sing or rehearse. I remember a guy named Derek Seals used to be frequent in the house a lot. A guy named Raul Garib. Yeah.
Mass man, yes.
I remember Cliff Harris used to come to the house a lot too, and all these people in the industry. And that time, I just, but it was just so cool to be around that creative energy. And then, we moved to Barataria for a short stint as well. Well, I'm from Barataria, right? So he moved with us in Barataria, the lot that we grew up on in the yard. And then I remember him calling me one day. He's like, Kev, I'm writing a demo. I said, okay, well, those days I don't know what is a demo. He's like, all right, I need to voice something for me. Because he was doing like a commercial.
Okay.
For Milo. And he wanted me to do the voice demo. So I would have been about 9. And the script went something like, M-I-L-O, here we are all ready to go. We drink our Milo every day, cause night and day we love to play. It's delightfully delicious, hot or cold, it's so nutritious. Monday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like that?
Damn.
That is like one of the biggest memories I have of him. As a little 9-year-old boy. Don't know what the hell is this, but
that was your first break.
Just recording a demo for Ansel and playing it back, and he with his cassette, and them days his cassette and his cigarette in his mouth, and so that was one of my greatest memories of him.
Welcome back. That was for just a dear friend. Very touching. Don't miss that one either, because you'll see the connection of people through the ages that sometimes you don't really put together. And the story eventually comes out. From generation to generation, creativity is never lost. You know this saying, friend is real friend. One of those I've had in my career is a guy called Winston Bailey, known as The Shadow. He's what I consider one of the superstars of our industry. I mean, superstars of our industry, I'm talking about global. But beyond that, behind that was a friend.
Part of the beauty, when you put me in the booth, you don't need to take 2 takes with you, If you take the next take, it's just because you just want to see if you can sing it different. But, accurate like that. However you deliver, you're delivering. People, because of his tone, people don't realize how good a singer he is. Because of his tone. Tone is just very custom down here. But he has good vocals. And matter of fact, I used to record him holding on the game like this. Because no matter where you put him, he going and peak. He had power like that. they record the whole beginning. I find a dip and I pull a little bit of thing. And he terrible when he come in vocal and thing. Yeah, you could pull the mic away from him a little bit and him sing. Okay. Power. But people didn't know it because of the tone. That tone. But when them songs, see some of them songs, like for instance, Gossiping is based on a true story. So, because when we growing up, he wasn't a miserable fella.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he tell me like any little boy. I remember the time he said that his man who was supposed to be the neighbor of your man.
Mm-hmm.
Preston fella. He said, and you want your man here and I want to cut down one tree to make a bat. So I pull the blade and I hit the tree and pop it fall. He said, as it fall, the man come outside. He said, young man, pick it up. He said, I watch the tree on the ground and watch him, I don't know what to do. He said, pick it up. He said, grandfather come outside and hear the man come. He said, what, Philip? He said, Mr. Very, this is between me and your grandson. Pick it up. But apparently, man did really like him.
Yeah.
Plenty people, plenty people just accept him and take care of him along the way now. He'll help the journey. Even when he come to Trinidad, there are different figures that people watching him back. Because he just had this purpose of making music now, you know, like he dedicate his life to becoming what he become. Everything about he has from Tobago, it was about drumming the bucket. Then he learned the guitar. Then he got a name. He come to Trinidad.
Winston, my brother, this segment coming up when it's time to be broadcast is for you. We had so many special times together. I'm just going to tell your story as best as I can. Don't miss this one. Hear what? The reason I'm still in the business is because of people younger than me. Squid and the young brother, they are of a new generation. And all these guys do is light a fire under me, like every generation, you know, that's there before them, that's younger than me. And these guys are going to light a fire under your tail when you hear their stories. This is a side of these guys that you don't know about. You just see the person on stage. This is a different side to these guys, and whom I give total respect for. Burn your energy. Who do that?
I just say, bye, thank God we. Because I can remember days I say, no, woman, I have nothing to do. I ask myself, like, I had a routine every single day. It was a routine. Okay, I wake up, I brush my teeth, out on the block. Go smoke weed. Go meet something, bathe, back outside. Every day.
Smoke a little weed and then until sleep time.
Until sleep time. Me go play no innocent boy, hold guns. You dig? I never shoot nobody. You dig? The police never shoot me, I never get locked up. Thank God for that. You dig? But I was getting fed up and I tell myself, boy, not me, boy, I have a talent. Boy, better the world judge me. You dig? And I put on my phone and I put it on a ring light and I say, boy, let me go and play music. Instead of me just on the block all day and then doing nothing, let me go and play music, free music. And that was it.
You know, and out of all that negativity or negative forces around you, there are a couple who come out as diamonds. And the diamonds like you are the ones who create other diamonds in your society, in your environment. And you can definitely be one of them, my friend. You're a smart guy.
Somebody asked me this morning if I get $1 billion, what would I do? With automatically respond, I say, brother, I can't change the whole Asilas. One time, because since I grew in my community, it's just been the same, you know. We seeing houses changes, you know, because, you know, people go get a little money, you know, put a brick house now, you know, but it's still the same.
Yeah.
You understand? The road, you know,
Is the mindset has to change.
you know, yeah. And it had to start from the youth. So when I say I can change my community, I can start with the youth. You understand? Instead of we throwing a Christmas party and he called for the children and them to come out and play, let me choose something like farming something, show them how to plant something, show them how to play cricket, kick a ball. We can go do that all day, but you know, if it's 3 hours in a day, it's still taking the mind from going and do something wrong, going and breaking somebody's house, touch somebody's thing. So it go start somewhere, you know, just these small things with us are the most impact, you know.
One
With little
step,
time pass by, it go grow.
one step at a time.
Understand? Yeah, that is how we just do things. That is business and all that stuff like that. I live and breathe music.
Very good.
When I wake up in the morning, for me to start my day, I just put on music, brush my teeth, bathe, music, and then I will go outside, you know, live, take everything, come back inside music.
All right. What music you listen to outside of the genre that you produce in?
I love Afro music from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you listen to a lot of the Afro beat. You listen to any of the old African music?
Yeah, it have a guy they call
Ransom? Yeah, Fela Kuti.
Yes, Fela Kuti.
Yeah.
I listen to his music, Nigerian music. He deal with a lot of like how Bob Marley was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, he was a revolutionary.
Yeah.
Again, well, you're too young to know, but he has influenced a lot of our music on the western side of the world. So even like our calypso, high life music is very much connected. And the connection was from the west coast of Africa, Brazil, Trinidad, Cuba. There's some kind of magical connection there. And that Trinidad got blessed with it. And it's interesting that you're listening to that. That means it's influencing you. That's a fantastic influence, bro. All right. In the next 5 years, where you see yourself?
I see myself as, well, I actually is an influencer, leader for the young generation right now, but I see myself as a more bigger impact, you know, to the youth, because where I coming from a community called Sealers, you understand? And to me, Sealers is like the way you go say Nazareth, and they say nothing good can come out of Nazareth. So I want to show the world and Trinidad and Tobago that, you know, I want to be the light to the youths to show them, you know, you could still do something good, no matter the community you come from, the area you grow up in. Don't let the area and the community you come from make a decision for your life. You understand? You use your brain, use your 2 hands and 2 feet and do the right thing. You dig? And not the wrong thing.
A lot of people thought, well, yo, listen, this is going to be a breeze for Squid to trans from dancer to artist, because he knows the industry. It was the hardest journey of my life.
Why?
I wouldn't even say Trinidadians. Humans doesn't like to accept change. So it was a hard fight for me. I was by radio stations like every other aspiring artist. Flash drive, yo, get us a play for me. Send back home, go in a different format, come back. I did all the groundwork. And these were people that, even some radio DJs who are singers, I remember going to them. They hire me every single carnival, every performance, and they acting like they don't know me. In front of the radio station. But you know what? It was okay because I understood, due to my time in the industry already, and advice from people like yourself. You know, knowing never to give up, and you would always encounter these kind of situations. It already mentally built me to endure that. So that was nothing for me. And as I tell my parents a long time ago, dog eat my shame a long time ago. So I had no shame. This is why I was so unique. You remember the video, Spread Your Hand and Let Go, for Blacks?
Yeah.
Big green, bright, B-Mobile green pants, a big radio, my hairstyle so.
Yeah, I remember it.
Black bag in my mouth looking like rotten teeth.
Yeah.
I was the only person daring to do it. You think somebody else didn't think of it?
Yeah.
I'm sure many people thought of it, but nobody was daring enough
to do it.
But I understood what it took to reach from point A to B. Marshall Montano showed me, he said, Squid, I was doing some choreography for him. He called Kaz, my dancing partner, and I downstairs in Moon Street, Europe, by the studio. He put us by the field to sit down.
for some strange reason, he told us something that I never forgot. I didn't even know why he told me. He said, opportunity comes once ever so often. But when that opportunity comes, it's up to you to grab onto it and manifest it to the best of your ability.
Folks, don't miss this one. It's a must-see. Trust me, don't miss this one. It's a must-see. Don't miss this one. Over the years, I've looked at it. I have a gift, but could also be a curse, a two-edged sword. I see the industry and what I do 5, 10, 15, 20 years ahead of its time.
He predicted, where we are now, he predicted this about 12 years ago.
So after the Road March, did King Austin's Progress, which became the calypso of the century. Work with Shorty, Om Shanti album. My path was set for education and I was doing pre-med. I was going to do medicine. First paid job in studio in my life. They threw me in the deep end and told me, you are now a producer. My first production was a first-time artist called Denise Flower.
I want to be an engineer. Oh yeah, you're the kid who's hung around. They're high. There's a broom, there's a mop, there's a tea, there's a coffee.
Wine and go down there. Yours truly, GBM Neutron.
And it's been shown now. If something is not documented, it never happened.
And I thought, well, Angela would have been my back. When they singing it, I wasn't even singing in a 10. I was singing in a 11.
What are you doing, people? It's your boy Young Brother right now. I'm at Beavers Podcast. Who does that? You!